Recently, Nigeria was ranked to be the second worst in power in 2017. However, the Nigerian government have given an indication that it will soon review power plans in the country to enable governments to restructure their ownership and capacity to deliver value. Joining us on the show is the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatude Fashola. Welcome to the show again.
Thank you for having me again.
So in the last few months, we have seen some relatively impressive improvement in power because the reports are that people are using their generators less. I know in my own personal experience, I've used my generators somewhat less, but still, there's still issues of power. And recently you said something about TCM producing 7,000 megawatts and DISCO's only being able to generate 5,000. Distribute 5,000. This issue of this 2,000 that we're saying, that everybody's talking about, how can we distribute this extra 2,000?
Why is it so difficult?
I think there are very few quick things I want to say. Your opening sentence, Nigeria ranked whatever, where did those statements come from? Who are the international people who are ranking this thing? I think before we begin to repeat things, we're very careful where the source is coming from and how accurate the information is. Secondly, you're saying that, oh, you're using your generator less. But you seem reluctant to admit it. When there's progress, say that there's progress with the same vociferousness with which you complain when there is a problem. I think we must be true to ourselves. Now, that said, I think the point to make is that we have improved on the production side of power. We're generating more from 2,690 in May to 7,000. We have increased the capacity to transport that power. TCN has grown. In December, when we did the simulation, it was now 7,124 megawatts. The last mile now is the distribution. That has also increased, but it hasn't caught up quickly enough. Now, let me just try and dimension what the problem is. The transformer in probably your area, when you moved there 10 years ago, how many buildings were there?
Yes.
So now, when we set up new apparatus and all of that, this studio, this place wasn't here 10 years ago. It's consuming more energy. Have your service providers come to take an inventory? Have you yourself reported? This is the last mile to solve the problem. Specifically, therefore, in answer to your problem, government has approved a distribution expansion program, working with the DISCOs, reconstituting the boards, and hopefully before the end of this year, we intend to take off all of that, some of that power. Then I met with the Manufacturers Association on Monday, again to say, I don't want to hear this story of power is the problem. We're on two sides of a river. On the side where you need it, on the side where I have it. Can we build a bridge across and come and take this power? So these are the things.
So the manufacturers will come and access this 2,000?
Yeah. We're working on it.
The DISCOs, because Morale, you felt she was hesitant about admitting. The DISCOs are not doing exactly, what will I call it? Excellent job, an exactly excellent job. Ikeja DISCO particularly would distribute power to where Morayo stays. And in Amuodofin, sorry, that's Alimosho, would have a problem distributed to certain areas. I spoke with the PRO of the area and said, certain areas, they have problems generating their monies because they feel these people cut measures. And rather than put infrastructure in place, like, for instance, give them a prepaid meter, make it easy to access. They make it difficult. I have been unable to access one for my parents who live in Alimosho. And I wonder why you have an investment, you don't want to put in assets that, will help you operate easily.
Right. Yeah.
The program and the time constraints does not afford enough opportunity to go into details of the problem. But let me say that it's interesting that you talk about Ikeja DISCO. Just last night, we were having this debate because when I come into town, I go around to some of my old clubs so that I can feel the street level pulse of what's going on. Yes. And there was a debate. One was saying, no, I live in Ikeja, my service is very good, I've had 18 hours regular power. One says, no, Ikeja DISCO is not good. One says, this is just... Now, we haven't told you that the problems are over. It's a work in progress. And the first step that I set out very early when I took office was, the first roadmap was incremental power. Let's increase the power.
Yes.
We are still in that process. Now, that process involves producing more power, making sure that that power is transported, making sure that it gets to everybody. There's still a lot of work to do in terms of auditing who is using what, so that we can predict what you need. That's when we'll get to steady power.
Okay. So sometime last year, you mentioned the fact that if we don't have prepaid meters, people shouldn't pay, because you cannot ascertain what is being consumed, and we didn't want the idea of having estimated billing. My parents were in that space, and they are still there right now. And because we want to solve the problem, we've been told that to get prepaid meter, we pay 50,000 naira, clear off our debts, and then they would install it for us, and we start paying from that. And that is the rule within the area, and that's a word of it. People sort themselves out by themselves. They go and pay and buy the prepaid meter. I want, one, your opinion on this, and two, when you say we shouldn't pay and we obey you and we don't pay because we know that they are giving us estimated billing, and then they are cut off our power supply, who should we run to in that situation?
Interesting. I think, let me go back again. You said sometime last year. I remember when this show started and how starry-eyed you all are.
Yes.
And now how much better you have clearly become. And no, I will say it very quickly. I won't pretend like you.
Thank you, sir.
But you know, the point is, this is an evolution. This is something we've done for 60 years. And even in the old NEPA days, many people didn't have meters. We just connected directly. So, and metering people is a daily, complex safety process. I can't meter you if I don't get to your house. I need to come in. I need to come and measure all the equipment that you have. I need to go back and then plot you into my database and then come and install your meter properly, because this is a safety equipment. And that just takes time. Look at something as simple as BVN, where you just needed to go and show
that we're not efficient.
No, just listen, please. Look at something like BVN, where it's not as complex. Just go and
fingerprint.
We didn't complete it. Look at, it's just us. So I won't use that word. I will be very, very reluctant, because then you can't condemn a whole nation. It's all of us. We just need to improve. Now,
so
you will get more meters. You will get more meters because we are working on opening the meter business to people other than discos.
Okay.
So
I hear your explanations now that you are in government as a minister. Mr. Fashola, when you were governor of Lagos State, you made assertions saying that the people in charge of our power sector are bad warriors, because any serious government, it shouldn't take them more than 6 months to deal with our power issues. You've been in charge of power for over 2 years, and we've fluctuated between 0 to 7,000 megawatts back and forth in a nation that needs over 100,000 megawatts. Are you a bad warrior?
I am happy you asked me this question. And the first question to ask you is, where did I say that?
You said it at a platform, talking to people.
No, I think you should go back. And we must be careful what we repeat. I chose my words. I spoke at Lekki when I was commissioning the power plant in Lekki. And what they asked me was, the power plant was dedicated to their water supply and to their street lighting, which was the limit of our participation as a state government. We couldn't give it to the homes. And as I was leaving, the street lights on, the water works working, the residents came and said, Governor, why can't we enjoy this electricity? And I said, it's not me. I can't distribute to you because you are customers of a disco. If the disco allows me, we will connect you in 6 months because the power is there. If you want to then twist what I said, I have films, documents of what I said. And when I said, and we've dealt with something, what the vice president didn't say, somebody casts it in another light. I don't repeat what people say. I go and listen to what they said, and then I do.
In full context. So how long will it take for us to deal with the power sector in Nigeria now that you are aware?
In fact, it's good you come back, because first of all, I've walked my talk. I have improved upon what I met. The power production has almost doubled. The power transmission has increased from 5,000 to 7,000. Even the distribution has gone up from 3,000 to 5,000. And we are making progress. So in the 2 years and few months that I've been there, I've improved on what I met. And I will continue to improve.
There's always this assumption that during the dry season, it's difficult to generate power. That exactly, it's only in the wet season that we can get power. As we are approaching the wet season, especially in power generation or gas supply, is there a fear of reduction in gas supply, especially we're getting into the rainy season now?
I think the first thing I would do, Mariah, if I were you, was to acknowledge first that for a very long time, this is the first time in dry weather that your power is still. I think you should say, no. I think you should say that.
I said,
you say don't be implying.
I think that's the way I would ask you to phrase that question.
So for the first time in a very long time, we had quite a lot of generated
Precisely the point. Now the answer is this. Every nation has certain resources. Right. Coal, solar, hydro, and all of that. You have to develop an energy mix. Nigeria didn't have an energy mix until 2016. Right. So we've been very, very dependent on gas. Now, once you break the pipeline,
that's it.
The fuel is gone. The generator is there because all the power plants are big generators. Yeah. So once you take out the fuel supply, it won't power. Yeah. So all of the choices we have made as people, breaking pipelines because we're angry, has consequences down the line. Yes. No nation that wants electricity breaks its own fuel supply. Right. So that's one thing that must stop. And happily, the president and the vice president have engaged our brothers and sisters in the part of the country where they are. And I must say to their credit, we have had stability. Now, so that with gas supply, we can keep the power plants on. Right. We're building the hydros. Right. And during the rainy season, they come into more prolific activity. Right. President has committed to Mambila, which will give us another 3,000 standing on his own. Right. And we're doing more solar. Right. When that mix comes together, we have energy security.
Fantastic. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, Nima had a question here.
Yes, I've noticed every time when you face the National Assembly, it seems like there's always one issue or the other with the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing. The rural electrification program you had and recently the EEP one. I wonder why they always have that. Is it politics or because you know your policies or the policies that you're handling don't favor?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Don't understand.
I think that no. First of all, the members of the National Assembly, I have quite a number of personal friends there, and I've also made new friends there. I think we must understand what liberal democracy thrusts on us. It's a choice for freedom. And what the members of parliament come there to do is first to represent their people. Yes. To make laws, and also to check the executive. Yes. Now, they come from different backgrounds, different exposures, different world outlooks. Yeah. And the biggest problem in liberal democracy today is consensus building. Very true, sir. You will see that the nations that are making more rapid economic development lately are places where liberal democracy is contained. We don't want that. We want these freedoms. Yeah. But it will come at the price of taking our time to learn how to build consensus. Negotiations. Now, you will see in the UK Parliament, they don't know whether they want soft Brexit or hard Brexit. It's freedom. You will see in the Washington, today they want to repeal Obamacare, tomorrow they don't want to repeal it. This is freedom. It's consensus building. And it's a process. Our democracy will get better. And this is where I say that we must keep working at it. The temptations to keep uprooting things every mini cycle. And I was telling people yesterday when we were analyzing the South African position, Nigeria has moved further politically. Now it is being governed in the Third Republic by two different parties. The South Africans have known no other party than ANC. Now, as we move here, I think one thing that will hit all of us clearly is that irrespective of which party, the solutions to our problems are not a quick fix. I think that's where, and then we will begin to look who shows more likelihood
and competence
is going in, and all of that, and going in the right direction.
One thing that I was prepared for was your eloquence in defending every question we ask you in a way that will not put you in trouble. One, you're a good lawyer and you are an extremely good orator. So it comes to you naturally. I know there was no way we're going to trip you or get you to say something, but...
Were you planning to trip me?
No, I just want to get the truth.
I was planning to trip you.
My intention was to get the truth. Because we don't see people admitting that we have failed. And it is obvious this government, as in some areas, failed us because they raised our expectations in terms of what they were going to deliver to us, like it was going to change. Now they get into power and they keep telling every day that it cannot happen in a day. Calm down. We are willing to be calm. And I know that I didn't bring you here to discuss general politics. However,
I will come back for politics.
we cannot remove the influence of politics from your daily activities because they influence you just the way you influence them. So I want to ask, in your opinion, do you think that the government has been effective in implementing the project that they knew they needed to do in the past years?
I think the best way to answer that question is not what I think, it's what the people are experiencing.
We're experiencing pain.
Yes, understandably, but is it better today than yesterday? You make that choice, you make that decision. Is your journey time on Lagos Ibadan better than it was 4 years ago? You decide that.
Yes, I have been there. It is better.
So you decide that. You make the decision.
Right.
We can't reach everybody at the same time.
Right.
And you see, let me tell you one thing. In public service, the decimal for how far you can go is can you do the greatest good to the greatest possible number, not the greatest good to everybody. That is not possible. And in that process, some things have a longer gestation time than others.
Let's take a few tweets.
Reverend Emodi says, the minister is overloaded with work. Mr. President should reduce his workload. They should not kill our Fashola for us, I beg. Tatafo says, Mr. Fashola, the able minister has written his name on the sands of time that cannot be erased, worthy of emulation. Father Onsi says, doesn't the minister think that the 3 departments, power, works, and housing, is too big for him to handle because I can't see any improvement in power and no consideration for mass housing? It brings me to roads. And your priority when you became minister was the southeastern roads that were in deplorable states. During the Christmas celebrations, there was a hurry, to repair some of those roads so that our brothers that are going home can travel easily. And so we kept on hearing that there was work going on, until the burial of late Vice President Alex Ekweme. And we saw that some roads were just being constructed at that time. Really, I know that the issues are funding, but tell us why it has taken you 2 years to get to your priority roads.
And again, your relationship with the National Assembly as
you see, first of all, you can't manage what you don't know. Now, the very first thing to do was we came in when things were already moving. We ran the 2016 budget. It was later in that period that I went on a nationwide tour that took almost 6 months to go and see each road, driving 12 hours every day. Now I understand better what I'm dealing with. Okay. Now, during that period, a lot of time has gone. Now, the point you made about end of year, that is service consciousness, that traffic is going to move in a particular direction at a particular year. Excuse me, commend us first for responding to it. Commend us first. It could have been much worse.
Yes. True.
Now, construction is going on. Construction takes time.
Yeah, true.
Now, during that period where you are constructing, can you also make the places where you haven't constructed a little more motorable? It just shows that we are connected to the people we are serving. Now, in all that process, we go back to consensus building. What time does the budget come? What time is it passed? What do we agree on? Look, let me define this in one small way. Can you imagine one home where every time you want to eat breakfast, everybody must vote what to eat? Will you eat in that house? Now, so in some way, there's that sense where our mother just come breakfast is served. Because if she says, look, listen, what do you want? Okay, even if you all agree on yam, you will disagree on how you want it cooked, whether you want palm oil, whether you want boiled yam, and all of that.
That's the pain of democracy.
That's consensus building. That's the choice that we made. We want a liberal democracy. So we had to build consensus with 360 House members,
very expensive,
109 senators, and 36 ministers also representing their states.
Okay, we get the point. Let me take this. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please, Sonny.
Yeah, my name is Sonny. I'm calling from Sunlere, Kokaguda local government. We are talking about. I want to tell the minister. My name is Sonny. I'm calling from Sunlere, Kokaguda local government, Rosowo precisely. As I'm talking to you, for the past 3 months, we don't have light in my area in Rosowo. By next week now, we're even planning to take NEP to court a coal distribution are fraud. You came to Akuba to commission a place in Akuba. We are 5 streets away from Akuba in Rosowo. We don't have light. And they keep on giving us 20-something thousand. As I'm talking to you now, we don't have light. Give us repair. By next week, we are going to cut with them.
Okay.
We don't.
Thank you very much.
Very aggrieved.
Good morning. Good morning. I am very sorry for the poor service that you are receiving from your disco, but I assure you that it will improve. Be patient. I don't think that going to court gives you electricity. The problem, as I've said, is that we have power. Getting it to the last mile is now the problem. Yeah. I know Rosonwo Street. Incidentally, I used to live on Rosonwo. I used to live on number 5 Rosonwo. So I know you are not far from Akongba. But the expansion in Akongba is not enough. As I've said, Surulere has grown very rapidly too. Yeah. So areas like Rosonwo, I think if I remember correctly, the transformer that served Rosonwo used to be in front of my own house on number 5. So expansion has taken place. Right. And these are things that the distribution expansion that we spoke about, that the Federal Executive Council approved, will address. But importantly, you should go to your consumer forum set up by NEC. Sometimes these faults, the discos themselves don't know.
Right. Okay.
And if you report to them, if they don't report to them, sometimes they don't know.
Okay.
All right. Going back to roads, you said sometime last year that the tolls are coming back to the major highways. Now, recently, Lagos State's issue with the recent increase in Lagos State has gotten everybody talking. What is your ministry doing to begin to sensitize people? I know you come out initially tell us, but once the tolls do come, people will definitely start talking. So what are you working on to start sensitizing people right now concerning these tolls?
Again, one of the things we want to do is the debate for tolls has preceded my arrival in government because there was already a bill before Parliament before I came. Okay. It's for the Nigerian people to decide whether they want it or not. Now, the existing Federal Highways Act also gives the minister power to impose tolls. But one thing I've said is that given that all of the roads haven't been completed, we can't ask you to pay tolls on motorable roads. As we complete them, and you can see and feel how much time you are saving, it may then be worth your choice to say, I want to pay for this service, so that we maintain it this way. But it's a work in progress. Okay,
let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take lots of tweets and lots of phone calls. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Right, thanks for staying with us. So let's take some tweets. Jumoke?
Joseph says, please tell my minister, BEDC, that's Benin Electricity Distribution Company services is so terrible. I paid for 4 prepaid meters since 2016. Abiola says, I can sit down and listen to BRF for life because his words suit my soul anytime. But don't let governance take much of you because we love you, sir. Well done. God bless you. Okpa says, if Togo and Benin Republic can have 24 hours steady power supply, what is Nigeria's problem? Cabals? Odeni says, you couldn't defend an item in your budget. Don't you think anti-graft should begin with civil servants? Addressing you. Okay.
I think Togo and Benin are very interesting points. Abuja Disco currently gets about 428 megawatts of power. Now, Togo, if I remember correctly, gets about 200 megawatts in the country. Now, Rwanda, as at 2016, their installed capacity was 209 megawatts. Put those together, they get less than the Abuja Disco gets. I think we just need to dimension things. All of what is in Ghana today is roughly about 3,000 megawatts. Lagos gets about 3,000 megawatts. Lagos gets about 1,000. One state gets about half of what an entire country gets.
And it's not even enough.
And we are also supplying Niger Republic. So when I hear people saying, oh, somebody is exporting power, your country is also exporting power by treaty. There are local issues, local problems. Everybody needs to play according to set rules. Don't break the pipeline. Don't do illegal connections. Let's work this thing together. I think we can defeat this thing.
Let me take this call from Angela. Angela, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
My name is Angela. I'm calling from Lakwa in Ibejuleki.
Go ahead.
My problem with the NEPA, because the day Fashola was, yes, I'm there. My name is Angela. I live in Ibejuleki, Lakwa. The day Fashola was giving that ministerial appointment, I was so happy. I said, this is the man that is capable to handle the office. But you know what is baffling me? We don't have light these days. And do you know that the light in Lakwe is something else? Light in Ibejuleki is something else. You will see light in the next village, Sabotedo. You will see in Aja, Awoyaya, and you will not see light in this area. Why? And you know the work part? The bill they give to me, I could buy 2-bedroom flat. I'm only using one fan and the bulb with TV. They are giving me 8,000 in a month. And everybody in the estate is 8,000. Even though you have a duplex, even though you have a estate, it's 8,000. Why
Point taken, Angela. Thank you so much.
Yes,
let's respond, please.
Again, my apologies for the poor service you are getting in Lakowe. But I'm happy that you acknowledge that there's power in Ilason and the adjoining areas, which means that there's progress, because we were there a few months ago to fix the Aja substation. There's a project for the gas installation station for Aja that we are also procuring that will improve your power. By the time we also finish the transmission station in Odogunyo, your experience will get better. I have not suggested that everybody has been served. But slowly, we are inching the needle towards improved service. And even the telecoms, let me just close on this. Even the telecoms, there are some places where you can't make a call.
Yes.
It's not perfect yet.
Right. Yes.
And let us understand that this is going to be a step-by-step process.
Okay,
Sir. Two major issues concerning roads in Lagos that you were aware of before leaving as a governor. The Apapa-Oshodi Expressway is it's an eyesore, and we don't seem to be getting it right. What can we do about it? Also, the airport road, which I'm wondering, knowing how important it is, it had to take the state governor taking it over to make it work. Shouldn't we prioritize that as a state, as the ministry?
Okay, very quick one. Apapa-Oshodi Expressway is a work in progress. The first 4 kilometers to the wharf is already under procurement, is already under construction. The Liverpool Creek Road, Tinkan Island, all the way to the toll gate is under procurement. Our procurement laws take time.
Okay.
So we would be assisted by some acceleration there, but there's a clear plan, and we're working on it. Our partners in the process are the Dangote Group, and if you looked in the papers yesterday, even Alhaji Dangote was there to go and see, just to motivate this. The airport road has been there for a long time. As governor, I designed that road, really. It was Lagos State that did the design and sent it to federal. For some reason, it wasn't built. And when I got there, we put it in the budget trying to build it, and the state said they wanted it. Ultimately, they got it. These are part of the restructuring issues too, because these are municipal roads now. The city has grown to meet the airport.
Yeah.
And so these are some of the things that we're saying, look, all of these municipal roads inside GRA Enugu that is still a federal road, what's this road where the central bank is, Amadu Bello Way, all of those roads now should stop being federal, Herbert Macaulay.
Exactly.
So if the governors want those roads, they should apply for them. We're quite willing to let them have them.
All right, let me take this call. It's been holding for a while. Hello, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Please, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Adiola. I'm calling for this. I was actually commenting, Minister, because the past people over here are watching CDC right now. But I want to say something. I want to say that these polls are currently overcharging. Because at 21...
I'm having trouble hearing you. Could you speak a bit louder, please?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I want to commend Minister for the good work done.
Okay.
You know, but I want to because I stay in Ikeja and the power over here is quite okay, at least for over 18 hours every day. So, but I want to make a complaint about the price that the discos are charging at 21 naira 30 kobo per kilowatt. I think that is too big. It's on the high side. Okay. Because the last time I could remember, the price of a kilowatt was 6 naira. So why is it that high now?
All right, thank you very much.
That's what I just want to
Question, based on what you were saying about the state government should ask for the federal roads. We remember what happened in the newspapers between you and Governor Ambody. What's the relationship between your predecessor and your successor?
Okay, let me take that one. You see, I understand that in government, it's a public trust. It's not private property. Once you are done, step away.
Yes.
And don't become an obstacle to the next person defining how he should make his choices. And so I've stepped away.
Okay. Right.
Now, but I am a citizen, now subject to the same governor.
Yes.
Now, so I must understand that. And I think that there's a difference between intervention and interference. Now, if the governor says, I need your help to do this, I will intervene. Otherwise, if I go and poke my nose, I am interfering.
Yes.
And we compare ourselves to other nations. We want to be, so when other presidents step aside, they step aside.
Yes.
And don't become meddlesome obstacles.
You didn't give them the State House
Now,
for the 50th now.
So, now, I gave it to them because there was a process. If people understand the history of that place, there is a church, our Saviour's Church today. Our Saviour's Church used to be part of State House land. And we had to transfer title, so you had to do a survey. It was a presidential villa. The surveyor that had to go there had to go and get clearance from DSS and from the State House. Otherwise, you would have transferred inadvertently the church that had been excised.
Right. One of your predecessors, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what's your relationship with him?
We're good. We're good.
No
Well,
issues.
may I quickly take this tweet so we'll close on it? Victoria is saying, sir, as much as we appreciate the work you're doing, you must be decisive on the issue of estimated bills and prepaid meters. I want you to say
We will get more meters this year.
The directive
First
is.
of all, you might recall that there was a FEC approval to convert a judgment that was already given against federal government into a credit of 119 billion that we saved as a judgment signed against federal government during the last administration. We eliminated that. We've now converted the process into a 39 million credit for the meter provide 39 billion. Now, what we're waiting for is the regulation. There's no regulation that allows private people to go into metering business.
Yes.
Once
So that
is
regulation
passed-
comes, there's 39 billion waiting to go into that operation.
All right, we have to
As a
round up.
start.
Thank you very much,
Sir, I have more
Unfortunately-
questions for you. You have to come back.
Unfortunately, we can't take any more. Thank you
It's
so
always
much,
a
sir.
pleasure to be
It's a
here.
pleasure, sir. We admit power indeed has actually improved.
In some areas.
In some areas.
We know there is work in progress.
That's why it's mixed blessings.
All right, I hope you enjoyed the show as much as we've done. Have a fabulous day. Don't forget to be part of our live audience on Wednesdays. Please come early. We have live audience every single Wednesday. So come early so you can get in on time. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye.